Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment of the Sit Down with Malik Wright presented by First Star Logistics. We're live from First Star Logistics Beach House in Melbourne, Florida, sunny Melbourne Beach, Florida. But Danny, we got to discuss Dak Prescott. A lot of people are talking
Yeah.
about Dak as if he is an MVP candidate. The Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, and I got to check the temperature on what you think it is.
So first off, I'm going to say I believe he is, honestly. And the only point that really counteracts this is they can't seem to get over the 49ers hump. That's
Mhm.
the one team that's constantly beat them twice in the playoffs. But when you just look at it, what's propelling their team to success? Not their defense right now. Like obviously their defense getting interceptions. Deron Bland's playing like a defensive player of the year. You got, you got their defensive line dominating. But when you look at what is really propelling them, Dak Prescott has had 6 straight games of 300 plus passing yards.
Mhm.
6 straight games. And when I look at, what's the criticism of him? It's late in the playoffs. It's when the team needs him, when the game's on the line. He's been doing it.
Right.
He's been doing it. They've won 4 straight games. Their last loss was against the San Francisco 49ers, where they got completely dominated.
Mhm.
But everything's in front of them. So damn right he is an MVP candidate, because right now they are playing like one of the best teams in football.
Yeah.
And I can point to their defense having some of the big issues, but man, Dak Prescott, what he's doing, CeeDee Lamb having 6 games of 100 plus yards,
Mhm.
Jake Ferguson getting involved, Tony Pollard getting involved in the passing game. Like their running game has been abysmal with Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle. They've been fine,
Mhm.
but not the Cowboys, run game that we've expected. So for me, I look at it, I think he is an MVP candidate. I think damn right we need to put some respect on his name.
See, the one thing I'll say is I think that both things can be true. I think that the Dallas Cowboys have been, impressing a lot of people. I think that Dak Prescott is playing like MVP candidate, but I think we're still waiting for that win, right? We're still waiting for that win. And when I say win, we're waiting for when is the shoe going to drop? When are they going to start
Yeah.
struggling, right? And you brought up the Eagles, a team that the Dallas Cowboys struggled with. You brought up the 49ers, who, albeit all the success that the Eagles are having, all the success that the Dallas Cowboys are having, it feels like the Niners are like prime 2000 Little Wayne, where they got the entire game on a chokehold, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a team in the NFC that can beat the San Francisco 49ers because of their play style and because they're able to make you play their style of football, their brand of football. And that's just I guess that's just not conducive to the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles. But sticking with the Dallas Cowboys, I do think Dak Prescott is playing like an MVP candidate, especially a guy that he's faced a lot of criticism in the offseason. He was throwing a ton of interceptions last year. I think he was averaging an interception a game. And to see him scale back, right? He has 26 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions this season. But you want to continue to see this evolution with the Dallas Cowboys offense, with this Dallas Cowboys football team. When they lost their cornerback, we all
Yep.
thought, oh man, doom and gloom, things might take a turn, but they found a way to kind of stay afloat. They kind of found a way to stay afloat. But I think the biggest thing is we're all just waiting to see when the Dallas Cowboys are going to start struggling again, or are they going to be able to keep this thing rolling? Right? They got the Philadelphia Eagles coming up, then they got the Buffalo Bills. Daniel, those two games by no stretch of the imagination
Yep.
are cakewalks, are easy. It's games that are really going to test their will.
And that's where it really comes down to how you play in those big time games. So we've seen them. They've been on this roll.
Mhm.
For me, what's going to really tell it is, hey, can you go out there and just look competitive?
Mhm.
If they lose a 1-score game like they did early in the year to the Eagles, that's okay. And maybe that's where my mindset might be a little screwed up. But hey, because honestly, it's what's going to happen in the playoffs. Right now, we're talking about
Yeah.
MVP candidate. Dak Prescott is an MVP candidate. But when we want to switch the conversation to, is he a top 5 quarterback? Is he, he's playing like one, but the question is he a top 5 quarterback? I don't think he is. And that's where I think we're going to see it rear its ugly head in the playoffs against a team like the Eagles, against a team like the 49ers. So we'll see. Like, I think both teams still have bad secondary. So we can see Dak Prescott have some success, but this is the year that Dak Prescott needs to put his stamp on this, because they've got the team. There's no more excuses for the Dallas Cowboys.
He's playing with a lot of newfound energy. But Dan, let's just talk about their schedule they've got coming up,
Yep.
right? They've got the Philadelphia Eagles, like we said. They've got the Buffalo Bills, like we said. Then they got to take on your Miami Dolphins. I'm kidding. Then they take on the Detroit Lions as well. That's a gauntlet right there, man. So when I talk about testing a team's will, testing a team's mettle, and seeing if they're able to come out on the better side of things, we'll know a lot about the Dallas Cowboys after these stretch of games here. But I certainly think that I definitely think that if they want to be taken serious, right, as Super Bowl contenders and be feared, they've got to find a way to get these edge these games out and win these games. It doesn't even have to be necessarily convincingly, but
Yeah.
just winning these games, it's a morale booster, especially going into the playoffs.
And the last thing I'm going to say is I've seen a lot of people, on the TV, everybody talking about the Dallas Cowboys saying, well, Mike McCarthy, he's terrible, like all this stuff. Hey, they've got the chance to prove everybody wrong.
Mhm.
This is their year. This is their chance, because if they lose again in the playoffs, then that's the story. The story will be written after the season. But right now, hey, they've got another chance. But we'll see. They've got the team to do it, so no more excuses.
I agree with. Let us know down in the comment section what you guys think. Do you guys think that the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott not only are Super Bowl contenders, but he's a potential MVP candidate? Can't wait to hear what you got to say. If you like more video content like this, do us a huge favor. Give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we go live or when we upload content from the First Star Logistics studio.